Good evening, everyone. Good evening, students. This is your mentor, Shivani Sharma from mentorbuddy.com. I hope I'm audible. Good evening, Ruchi. Good evening, Pratiksha. How are you people? Good evening, Sri Lakshmi, Vanshika. Good evening. Good evening, Vaishnavi, Priya. Good evening, Rajesh. Okay, thank you so much for confirming that, Rajesh. All right, I'm doing good. Thank you so much, Swarada Geet, for asking. All right, wonderful that all can hear me. Right. So I'm sure all of you are excited to attend today's session as we are going to talk about a very, very important skill today. Right. The session today is on presentation skills. And believe me, this is something which is going to be useful for you throughout your life. Right. Starting from your student life to your professional life, when you will be, interacting with your vendors, your superiors, your clients. You have to, talk about, you have to present your ideas in a very effective manner. Right. So today we are going to understand that what is the importance of presentation skills. At the same time, we'll also be discussing what are the do's and don'ts. What are the things we are going to keep in mind whenever we have to enter into any professional communication or presentation skill, right? So today, after telling you a brief about how to go ahead with the presentation, I'll be giving you a small assignment, which I expect that you people are going to do, right? So that we can assess whether you have understood the context of presentation skill, or you have understood the skill, how are you going to prepare for it or not. Okay, students, so how many of you are with me? How many of you are going to do the assignment on presentation skills? I have not yet shared any screen, Bhagyashree. Okay, thank you so much. Rajesh is with me. And what about others? How many of you are going to participate with me in the assignment? Okay, Swarada is also saying that she'll participate. Wonderful. All right. So I could only see 2 or 3 students saying that they are with me on the assignments. What about others? Okay. Right. So a lot of students have now sent Ruchi, Avir, Sanket, Aniket, Yashashri, Burhanuddin, Vanshika. All right. Thank you so much. Right. So let us quickly start. And you know what? This is even one of my favorites. I really like to learn a lot about presentation skills and I practice a lot. Right. Even when it is my class, after having an experience of around 14, 15 years now, still I, ensure that whenever I have a presentation or I have a session, I just try to rehearse before having a session with you all, right? So students presentation skills concept we will be covering in 2 sessions. Today's session is going to be more of theoretical in nature, where we'll be discussing about the points how to prepare the presentation skills. And the next session, we are going to analyze some of the presentations, right? And we'll see to it what other platform can we use so that, if you're going to send me your names, how many of you are interested, maybe we can have a live presentation session, right? It is not possible to have a presentation session with a lot of students, but we can, always categorize those who are interested in giving a presentation can definitely join us for the live session. Okay. So we'll talk about this towards the end of the class. The rule goes the same. We will be starting with certain expectations. So let me just understand from my students for the day that what do you expect from the presentation class? Let me just understand, are we on the same platform? Aniket, I'll take your question just a minute. Right. So first, let me just understand from all of you what is the expectation that you have in mind once I said that we'll be talking about presentation skills. Aniket, please be specific. Which site are you talking about? Center of Excellence? Okay, so Brajesh is saying to learn something about how to be prepared for a professional meeting. Okay. Aniket, okay. Aniket, those of you who do not have registration on Center of Excellence need not worry. They will be receiving the link for these webinars on their mails, right? So there are some students, those who have not got the facility of Center of Excellence, so you need not worry for the same. Right. So self confidence within oneself, the best way to get across to everyone in the room effectively. Good point, Danish. Same space to communicate with trainer. Okay, Avir. How to present your thoughts to others effectively and impressive. Very nice, Rajesh. Expectations are like we want to be more confident and in a well mannered way and many more. Okay, Vanshika, how to convey our idea in a professional manner. I expect how to present confidently and present your thoughts. Right. Very good. To acquire presentation skills, I'm expecting to learn how to prepare presentation. Right. So, I'm glad that all of us are on the same platform. Essentially, this is going to be the objective of today's session that I have designed. We will be talking about presentation skills. Along with that, we will be learning how to, prepare presentations. We will also be discussing about few tips that how you can make your presentation more effective. At the same time, I'll also help you in understanding what are ineffective presentations, right? Because in order to understand what is light, you should know what is darkness. In order to understand what is knowledge, you should know what is ignorance, right? So in order to understand what is effective presentation, we should understand what is ineffective presentation also. Agree? So we'll be talking about this. We have the same ground rules for the class as earlier, right? I am sure that all of you are very familiar with this because today is the 14th session. We have been interacting for around more than 6 weeks now. So we are on the same platform, isn't it? Towards the end of the session, I'll take up all your questions. Let's start with this. So this is, a formal definition of a presentation. As you can see, there's a boy standing out there making use of a chart and making use of a stick to talk about the different points. So basically, a presentation is a structured, right? And when I say it's a structured, form of a public speaking, this is very important. I'm just highlighting the important words here. Keep in mind, a structured, prepared, and speech based means of communicating information. A presentation cannot be just data. A presentation needs to be information, right? Or when you are trying to convey some ideas to a group of interested people, right? And what is the objective? That has to be very clear, right? So what is the objective of that this presentation? It can be either to provide some information, that can be one of the objective, or another objective can be to persuade your audience, right? So whenever you are giving a formal presentation, there can be only and only two objectives. One is to provide information, and secondly to persuade people. Persuade means, can anyone tell me what is the meaning of persuade? Yes. What is the meaning of persuade? Very good, Avir. Yes, Omkar, what is the problem? Very good. All of you have given more or less the correct answers. To persuade means to convince someone, to influence someone, to make someone, agree with what you are saying. That is called as persuade, right? So whenever we give a presentation, for example, what am I doing right now? I am giving a presentation to you, and I have both the objectives. One of the basic objective of my presentation is to inform you about all these concepts of social skills, And my second objective is to persuade you to attend the webinar so that you can improve, to persuade you to try these techniques and skills so that you can improve on that, and to persuade you to submit your assignments, resume, so that I can do a correction and make you well prepared to face your campus interviews, isn't it? So these are the main two objectives of any presentation, right? So keep in mind all these words that I have underlined out here. Clear? Now let's go to the next slide. All right. Can you see this? I found this very, very interesting. So I said, I'm going to use this. Right. So students, tell me one thing. The moment you look at this caricature, what is the first thought that comes to your mind? Can you think of any of the presenter, whom you have come across and you were feeling like this, that the presenter is just speaking anything, blah, 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 and I'm not able to understand and I'm, dozing off. Right. Can you just think about anyone? Tell me one thing honestly, how many of you feel, like this in my session? Because you cannot see me, right? You are just getting my audio. How many of you feel the same in my session? Be honest, I'm not going to take out your names. I'm not going to call out your names, don't worry. How many of you feel sleepy in my sessions? No? All right. Thank you so much, Vanshika. I'm really glad that none of you, feel sleepy in my classes. Yes, yes, Sanket, I can see your messages. All right. So my classes are interesting, huh? All right. Thank you so much. But are you able to visualize, such kind of an environment where, uh, you also sometimes feel very disinterested and you feel very boring, right? So, now the ball is in our court. We have to decide whether we want to make our presentations very interesting and exciting, or we just want to make it a boring presentation, right? That people are going to sleep in the class. Just a moment, students. There is one student who's continuously messaging me, not getting my voice. Just a moment. Let me just, inform him that everyone can hear me. Please recheck your internet connection or settings or relogin. These are the three options, right? All right. Wonderful. Right. So now we are on the same track and we want to make our presentations very interesting and not like this, right? I'm going to tell you all the techniques for doing the same. Right. So, what if our audience is sleeping or they are not finding our presentation interesting? There are few causes behind that. Right. The first being you're not able to motivate your audience. You're not able to make them understand that the topic which you are going to talk about, the information which you are going to give to them, what or how that information is important for them, right? How I start my session is whenever I have to talk about a topic, I give a background, right? I always tell you people that how you're going to utilize today's learning in your real life. Secondly, your audience will get confused or disinterested when you have a confusing structure of your presentation or information, right? Either you have written a lot of content on the slide or your slide is not at all, presentable, or students or, the audience is not liking, right? Excessive details are there which the audience is not able to comprehend, right? So then, these are few factors why your audience can lose the interest in your presentation. right? So if we want to become effective presenters, we are going to keep these few points in mind. We'll be talking more about it in the coming slides, right? Just to start, and to set the stage right, I'm going to show you good presentation versus bad presentation. And students, try to you know put yourself in the shoes of these students who are giving the presentation. I'm sure that all of you must have given a presentation sometime in your school or college life. Try to analyze how were you as a presenter, what went good, and what was something which you need to improve and bring a change about. Then we'll be discussing about the different presenters. I'm also going to ask you which one you like the most out of the presenters that you are going to see.
Hello everyone, welcome to Public Speaking. Today's first presenter is Ranjit. I would ask Chantal, could you fill the right space? British imposed a lot of unpopular taxes on the American colonists and didn't let them elect representatives to the British government. In retaliation, the Americans started to boycott British goods. In 1773, Americans in Massachusetts dumped a shipload of British tea into Boston Harbor. This became known as the Boston Tea Party. As punishment, the British imposed laws known as the Intolerable Acts, including the Quartering Act, which made Americans let British soldiers live in their homes. Some of the American colonies created a Declaration of Rights and Grievances, which they sent to Britain, but the British just sent soldiers to the colonies to put down any rebellion. This led to the first battles of the Revolution at Lexington. Thank you. I know it's very hard to give a presentation in front of others. Now, anyone like to offer constructive feedback about this presentation? Any tips for what you might do next? For example, when fully hear what Reggie was saying.
Not really. You need to speak louder and face the audience.
Yes, great suggestion. Anyone else?
He was reading from his paper, so it didn't feel like he was really talking to us.
Exactly. It's important when you're speaking to look up every sentence and make eye contact with someone in the audience. Anything else that Rajiv will do to appear more relaxed and feel more?
You can smile more.
Yes, smiling makes us feel relaxed. Oh, and make sure your phone is on. I do have one more suggestion. Connect with listeners. It's a great idea to think of some story or experience as we try. Can you try that next time?
I think so. Yes. Next week, my presentation will be about the causes and effects of stress.
Reggie is first up again today. I look forward to it. Boy, could you improvise this?
Good morning. Today I'd like to talk about the causes and effects of stress and how to cope with stress. Stress has many causes, including work or school, life events, changes, or unrealistic expectations of yourself. Some effects of stress: headaches, trouble sleeping, depression, or lack of concentration. I know how hard it can be to deal with stress. Last year, I started working after school to save for college, but I didn't have time to do homework and my grades went down. I had trouble sleeping, I only ate junk food, and I stopped hanging out with my friends. Fortunately, I was able to talk with a school counselor to manage my stress. She suggested that I reduce my hours at my job, eat healthy foods, and get some exercise. So I literally started walking home from school and bringing my lunch. I also asked my teachers for extra help. Now, I feel better. It's important to recognize when you're stressed and to ask for help. Thank you.
Great, I want you all to reflect on how much stronger today's presentation is.
Right. So, students, I want you all to analyze both the presentations that you have seen. I just want you all to compare. I know, I do understand, that the there is some issue because in this platform the audio might not be very clear, but I understand that you were able to had an overall impression, right? So if you just compare the two presentations that this boy has given at the start and towards the end, what is the basic difference that you have seen? While giving the first presentation, students, am I audible? All right. So very good. Right. So in the first presentation, as we have seen, yes, very nice. The boy was not at all confident. That was the first thing. Secondly, he was not maintaining eye contact with the audience. He was just reading from the paper. Right. So he was not able to connect with the audience. His voice was also very slow. Right. And he was lacking that emotional connect. So, the professor asked the audience to give a constructive feedback. Do you know what is a constructive feedback? A constructive feedback is given in order to, so that the other person can improve on the mistakes, not to pinpoint the mistakes, but rather how can he work upon it. Right. So the audience said that you need to have a the voice level needs to be improved, you need to have a smiling face, and the professor also suggested that if you want to connect with your audience, you can talk about small stories or inspirational stories, right? And in the second presentation he has worked on those aspects, because in the second presentation he was talking about the stress management, so he has given a lot of examples from his own life, right? He was interacting with the audience. So the second presentation was basically an interaction. So the audience was also feeling connected. They were listening to him. He was having a very open body language, very friendly body language, was keeping a smile on the face also. And the tone and the pitch of voice, all the para language were good. The body language was also nice, right? So whenever we have to give a presentation, understand that you're not going to read out from a paper. You have to maintain that emotional connect with the audience, right? Now let me just read the answers given by all of you. Danish says, communicating to the audience in a better and a captivating way. Very good, Danish. I really like the way you write your answers. Good. Vanshika says, second presentation was interesting and attractive to listen, whereas in first one was not interesting and lack of confidence. Very good, Vanshika. Second presentation is good. Yes, Harsh. At firstly, he was not confident and was not prepared for the presentation, but in next week, he was prepared for the content he wants to convey to audience. Yes, Rajesh, very good. That itself proves that whenever we have to get into any presentation, we need to be well prepared in advance and rehearse, right? Ruchi says the first presentation was just going ahead and learning. All was sleeping and not interested. It was bad presentation. Second was just he was connected to everyone. Very good. Sunil, very good. Lack of confidence. Why can't I say something or ask? Okay. Sagar, we are interacting through the question box. So in spite of writing all these things, please do communicate your thoughts. I'm just reading out all the thoughts shared by the students. Yes, Vanshika, very right. He was not confident, firstly, and then secondly, he has noticed his mistakes and corrected his mistakes, and then an impressive presentation. Second one was interesting. Yes, Vaibhavi, he wasn't stiff. He used gesture in the second one. Good observation. Yes, Sahana. Second one was more enjoyable and interesting because of the body language, the voice modulation. He's having a smile on his face, isn't it? Right. So, very good. Right. So, I think all of you are able to make it out. Sagar, don't be sorry. Whatever point you have to say, you can rightly say. Students, please try to understand. We have around 150 to 200 students in the class, right? Somewhere between 150 to 200. If I'm going to allow everybody to speak right now, do you think I will be able to complete this topic in 1 hour time? It's not possible, dear. Right. So that is why, we keep it, all the mic of the students are intentionally keep on mute. Sometimes, a lot of students, they don't allow us to teach also, they speak so much. I hope you all understand this, right? We have limited time, that is why. And that is why I interact a lot with all of you through the question box. I intentionally devote a lot of time in calling out individually everybody's name and reading out what you have written and responding to the same, so that you don't feel it as a one way communication. I hope you understand the structure of the class now, right? Okay. Very good. And I really appreciate that all of you have, watched this video so carefully. And we all are going to keep these points in mind. We'll be talking more about this. Let's move ahead. Can anybody recall of any, such presentation when you were a part of it and you started fumbling or you were feeling nervous or you could not make it, right? Anybody who would like to share personal experience? Anybody who felt nervous? Let me tell you, when I faced, the audience for the first time, it was way back in 2012, right? In 2012, I started conducting online sessions for Sikkim Manipal University, right? And at that time, I used to take 3 hour session, almost, 1.5 to 2 hour session, in which I had to complete 3 chapters of, business communication for MBA students. And all the students used to be working professionals, and they used to sit from across the world, right? Not only Indian students, but students from different countries, because Sikkim Manipal University started with the MBA program for working professionals, and I used to take those classes. That was a very new concept at that time, to conduct online classes from home, right? So I and you believe me, it used to take me a lot of time to prepare presentation for three units. The slides used to be somewhere around 70 to 80 slides, and I used to practice the entire 3 hour presentation, right? That how am I going to complete 3 units in a span of one class? How am I going to answer the queries? How am I going to make the class interesting, so that students are not getting bored and they're not sleeping, right? So that is the importance of practice, which we should not ignore whenever we have to give a presentation, right? So from there, like when I started taking online sessions in 2012, coming to 2021, and now to be more comfortable with the online classes, but still I make it point that before having your classes, I go through the entire presentation, right? I try to summarize, the entire presentation in one go to myself. How am I going to proceed with it? Right? So if you want to become an impactful presenter, who's an impactful presenter? Somebody who's not allowing the audience to sleep, somebody with whom the audience is feeling connected. How are you going to become an impactful? First of all, always believe that the opening statement has to be very, very good, right? The opening statement, the tone of voice, your voice should convey enthusiasm, right? Even if you're not able to see me, but through my voice, you are able to get that emotions. You are emotionally connected with me as my audience, right? My topic, my presentation, my question should arouse curiosity in you. I need to empathize with you as a student. See, that is the reason why I've explained, right? If my teacher is going to give me a session without showing her face and without allowing us to, to speak anything, I will also try to find out the reason, right? So that was the reason I explained that why we do not allow all the students to speak in the class. Show the solution of the problems. Suppose we are talking about solutions, problems, right? Today in the class, I'm talking about the ineffective presentations. So I have to also tell you the solution. How can you become, an effective presenters? Emphasize the benefits. So, let's take today's example only. I'm just telling you all the benefits. If you're going to be an impactful presenter, how are you going to get the benefits? You will be the most likable person in the office, right? For all the public dealings and for all the client discussions, your bosses will definitely look up to you. Okay, fine. So, right, so Mr. XYZ, you seem to be a person with whom everybody wants to interact with. Why don't you go and present this point, right? How can you become impactful presenter? As a presenter, you need to stay focused. When I'm interacting with you, I'm only interacting with you. I'm not thinking about anything else, right? I'm not thinking about what am I going to cook in the dinner today. I'm not thinking about, who is messaging me or what is happening here and there. Be charismatic. What do we mean by charismatic? Charismatic means, charisma of a person means the influence of someone's personality. How can you become charismatic? One, learn how to carry yourself. Secondly, be nicely, professionally groomed. We have already talked about this. Maintain positive body language and maintain that enthusiasm in your voice that can percolate to the audience. Engage the audience. And this is exactly what we do in the class, right? You must have noticed that I interact with you through the question box, through the chat box, right? I ask different questions, you respond to those questions, and I appreciate the answers also. Why do I do that? Because I want to engage all of you in the presentation. I try to make it memorable by showing you all different audio videos, trying to add a little bit of humor in the class. And I try to close with impact by showing you all the COE, the mentor buddy, what are the different benefits that you'll be getting. Sometimes ending with an assignment and sometimes ending with, MCQs. One class we have ended on a case study discussion. One or two classes we have ended with MCQs, right? So every class, every presentation should be, the closing has to be really very impactful, right? So students, if you are going to follow even, few of the tips that I'm mentioning over here, half of your work is done, because everybody wants to, look at the presenter who's very, very impactful, isn't it? Right. So that was about you as a presenter. Now let us quickly talk about how can we prepare our presentation in the best possible manner. What you say is important. Students, always keep in mind, I have been telling you about all this from the very first class, that what you say is important, but how you say that is even more important. So how and what, we are going to deal it separately. First, let's talk about what. So these are the steps that we are going to keep in mind when we'll be preparing our presentations. The very first thing being planning the content, right? Planning what is the objective of this presentation. Accordingly, you will be preparing the content. Then you will be practicing and rehearsing. I have just now shared my own example with you all, that I used to practice for, that 2 hour session. I used to rehearse the entire session for 2 hours, right? So that means in order to deliver a 2 hour session, I used to invest around 5 to 6 hours, right? 2 to 3 hours I used to spend in preparing my presentation, and 2 hours to practice the entire class one time, so that my actual class doesn't get affected, right? And finally, you are going to present it in the model that you have designed, in the manner that you have rehearsed. So there are 4 P's: plan, prepare, practice, and present if you want to become an effective presenter. First, let us talk about planning. So what are we going to do in the planning? Always remember, audience is everything. In business communication, whatever we are doing, whatever skills we are trying to imbibe in ourselves, everything has to have a you appeal. When I say you appeal, that means everything we are going to do keeping in mind the audience, right? We have talked about this in email communication also, that we have also talked about this in resume writing and cover letter writing. Prepare your communication in the manner which is expected by your audience. So if you want to become an effective presenter, first of all, you should know who is your audience. If you do not know who is your audience, you will not be able to prepare the presentation, that can be of their level. Why are they there? Suppose the very first day I've been told that I have to take soft skills classes. So my first question was, who will be the audience? Right? I've come to know that all the students who are doing professional technical courses will be the audience. Then the second question was, why are they there? Why are you people attending the classes? So the answer was that you want to improve on your soft skills so that you can earn a good job for yourself, and you are also able to deliver on these jobs, right? So then what is your goal? Why are you people coming to me? You are coming to me because you want to prepare your resume. You are coming to me because you want to improve so that you can, appear for different interviews and get selected for the jobs. Then I have asked, how long will it be? What will be the platform? And then accordingly, I have designed the entire module. Right. Now, suppose I have to take communication skills classes for corporate professionals. I also work as a corporate trainer, right? So if I have to teach communication skills to corporate people, of course, that is going to be very different. Then again, so I'll be asking this question: who is my audience? Corporate professionals. Why are they there? Because they want to improve on their communication skills. They are already good, but they want to become better. So accordingly, I'll be preparing my classes. There will be more of, interactions. There'll be more of case study discussions. I'm not going to talk with them about 4 P's: plan, prepare, present, and plan, prepare, practice, and present. I'm not going to talk about this with them. Right. So whenever you are planning your presentation, the thing that you're going to keep in mind is your audience, right? And your presentation should have that you appeal. The second P that we are going to talk about is prepare. What are we going to prepare? These are the points that you must keep in mind while preparing your presentation. The very important being, what is the structure of your presentation, right? So how I started, first of all, I have talked about what is presentation. Then I have shown you good and bad presentation. I have shown you the causes, and now I'm telling you how to prepare an effective presentation, right? So the structure is very important. And when you are going for let's say, a professional presentation, see to it, it is always good if you are going to show the structure of your presentation to your audience. Prompt, visual aids, voice, appearance, style, and questions. Will be taking all of this one by one. Structure of presentation. Please make a quick note of this. How are you going to write your presentation? First thing is, what is the objective of your presentation? What are the 2 objectives that I have told you just now? Come on, students, quickly answer this question. Just now I've told you in the first slide that whenever we give a presentation, generally there are 2 objectives behind that. Can anyone give me an answer to this? What are the 2 objectives? Very good, Ayushi. Very good, Burhanuddin. I'm so sorry if I have not taken your name correctly. I'm so sorry for that. Manali, yes, this is one. What is the other one? No, Ruchi, that is not the answer I'm looking for. Very good, Madesha. What is the second one? Yes, Avir, Vanshika, good. Okay, so some of you have got it right, but let me just again tell you there are 2 objectives of giving any presentation: to inform and to persuade. Yes, very good, Sri Lakshmi. Right, very good, Simone. Krupal, very good. Right. So you have to be very clear in your mind that when you are going to give a presentation, what is that presentation for? Just for information's sake, or you are going there to persuade somebody? Persuasion generally comes when it's a client, dealing, or when you are dealing with your, superior or your senior, you are presenting something where you want him to say a yes or a right. So that time, persuasion matters. The presentation structure is generally, first of all, introduction, then the main content, finally the summary, conclusion or recommendations, and definite portion of any presentation is Q&A or a final round. So just these four steps. Objective is for you to understand, right? Sometimes you must have come across very many presentations where the presenter also shares the objectives with others, right? So these are the few points. The objectives have to be clear. Start your presentation with a good introduction. You can always start with an anecdote, a short story, some humorous element, depends on the intensity of the presentation. Then comes the main content, then summary, conclusion or recommendation, and finally the Q&A session where you will allow your audience to ask questions from you. Okay, this is the structure: introduction, main theme or summary, and conclusion. The introduction is going to be helpful for you in the sense that you'll be able to grab the attention of the audience. In main theme, you are going to talk about the main content, and this content you are going to design keeping in mind whether you are here to just share some information or you are here to persuade people, right? And finally, in through summary or conclusion, you are just trying to impart, or you are just trying to put across that key message once again, so that you are ending your presentation with an impact, because that is going to be the major takeaway for the audience. Don't expect that you have talked about the entire volume of information with them and they have comprehended. Believe me, and most of them will be lost. So how you are going to end the presentation is going to be remembered by them. Prompt, what do we mean by prompt? Prompt means whenever you are presenting a, some topic or some points, make it in bullet points. Do not write in paragraphs or big sentences, rather write in short bullet points, because that seems to be more appealing, easy to comprehend, and generally audience keep it in mind. For example, just now I told you that if you want to make a good presentation, there are 4 P's. And what are the 4 P's? Plan, prepare, practice, and present. Right. So I'm sure that you are going to have these 4 elements as key takeaway for today's session. Right. Visual aids are very important. For this, we are going to follow the same rule of business communication that we have been talking about. We are going to make use of simple fonts, colors, and graphs if it's a professional presentation. Do not show all your, different skills with different colors. Don't experiment with loud colors. Ideally, the screen color has to be professional shades. Use images in clip art. Don't overwrite, don't overcrowd your slides. It does not look impressive, right? And if you're going to make use of very different visual aids, it will wake people up. But do not make use of, such visual aids that your audience is getting distracted by the same. One of a very important thing that I've seen people, just reading from the slides without adding anything to it, it's just a wastage of time, because all your audience have, good enough sense and observation that they can read and understand the concepts clearly. So you do not have to worry for the same. Your voice needs to be louder and clear than your normal pitch. If you're giving a presentation, vary your pitch and volume, right? Because that is called as voice modulation. So practice voice modulation if you want to be an impressive speaker. Overemphasis if there are few points where you think that your audience need to pay more attention. You can emphasize by, raising the tone of your voice, by going a little slow, by laying more stress on the word, right? And that will also add on to the voice modulation, and your audience will feel connected to it, right? So see, I will read the sentence in two ways and you will be easily able to make it out. So one of the ways in which I can explain this topic as, so students, you have to maintain loud and clear voice which is more than your normal pitch, and maybe you can overemphasize few words if you feel like, right? And another way would be, so students, you need to be louder and clearer than your normal pitch. If you feel, then you can always also overemphasize on the words. Are you able to differentiate the two ways in which I have just read all these points? Right. So this is the importance of voice modulation that we have to understand and keep in mind while giving a presentation. One of the very important points, your appearance. We have already talked a lot about it. Be professionally groomed, right? That is the most important thing. Girls, please wear comfortable shoes. I have seen wearing, girls wearing improper shoes and then they're not able to give the presentation, right? Because their shoes are hurting, right? Don't just stick in one place. Allow yourself to move a bit, but do not move so much that you start dancing there, right? Stand in a manner that you look confident. This is a professional dress code. I think we have already talked a lot about this professional dress code and professional grooming. I'm not going in much detail. Right. Now this is professionals versus non-professionals. Now you can make it out, what kind of presenter do you want to be? Maybe there are some corporates, those who, they don't mind people coming in casuals. That depends on the office culture. But I always appreciate that if you have an important day in office, you should dress up professionally for the same. Because ultimately it's your bread and butter, right? So be yourself. Do not try to copy somebody. Make use of only those words and sentences which you use in normal days. Do not experiment with any language which you are not comfortable with. Do not make use of any word which you have never ever used in your life, right? Otherwise that might land you up in a trouble, right? Now, it is always very important that you have a fair good idea in your mind that probably these are the questions which my audience can ask. So based upon your presentation or the topic which you have prepared or the information which you are trying to share, you can very well expect what kind of questions can come up, right? Another thing which I would like to, share with you all students, as I have given a lot of presentations to people across different ages, and through my experience I can tell you one thing. It's not possible that we know answer to all the questions, right? It's very well acceptable and it's fine if we do not know any answer, but we should have the guts to accept that. And we can always say, as of the moment I can't answer this question, but I'll surely get back to you, right? So you can always note down the question name of the person who has raised that query, and you can always connect with the person by getting a response to that. Or you can always divert that question to anybody who's senior to you sitting in the audience or on the panel, right? Do not try to show them that you are, a person who has knowledge of all the things. It's not possible, right? Be humble and accept that you do not have the answer. Another very interesting thing, if you are giving a professional presentation, you can always share some handouts, some personal notes with your audience so that they can keep it handy. Otherwise, you'll find they'll start copying everything that you're showing on the screen. So you can always tell them that all of you will be getting an handout or, the presentation slides. So do not copy anything, but, just be with me in the presentation. So you can always make your presentation more impressive like this. You can share that with them. Right now, the third P. So we have talked about two P's: planning and preparing. Now we are talking about practicing. We all know that practice makes a person perfect, right? Not PURFECT, rather it's PERFECT. So there is no shortcut to success. How are you going to practice? Rehearse all the points. Go through your presentation before going in for a final day, right? Go through it at least 2 to 3 times, that you are very clear about what is coming in the next slide. Rehearse all your points, rehearse with all visual aids, rehearse with all handouts, practice again and again that how you are going to manage your time, right? If you are an initial presenter or it's a first time, rehearse in front of mirror. All right. There's no shortcut to success. Ensure that you are practicing it before going for a final presentation. So ensure that you are going to practice a lot before going for a final presentation. Initially, it might take you a little bit more of time, but then later on, you will be able to do it very well. But students, always remember, don't ever go unprepared. Always go through your presentation before the final slot or the final presentation, right? Now let us understand few basics of delivering a presentation. As I have already told you, the moment you are going to start, within the first few seconds, you should be able to grab the attention of the audience, right? So it happens just within the first 2-3 minutes, whether your audience is with you or you are going to lose them. How are you going to, grab their attention? By having an open body language, by making use of your gestures, right? By maintaining eye contact with your audience. And as I have shown you a video just now, right? So presentation is all about those things only. Maintain eye contact, have a smiling face, have good body language, right? And through your movement, through your gestures and body language, you can communicate to your audience that you are also interested in your topic. One thing that I have always, practiced, that until unless I am interested in my own topic, how can I expect others to be interested about it? Right? If I am taking my presentation as a burden, so the audience are going to be the first one to deny that, right? That we are not interested in listening. Until unless I am, convinced about the points that I'm talking here, right? I won't be able to communicate that with you effectively. So it's very important for us to believe in the content that we are sharing. This is what I believe, right? This is what I feel, and this is what I practice. I don't ever share a content which I feel that it is not appropriate, right? Because until unless I'm convinced, I will not be able to convince my students. We have already talked about this, that what you speak is important, but how you speak is very, very important, right? So your text plays only 7% of role, your visuals play 55% role, and your vocal plays 38% role in your presentation, right? So don't just try to, give a lot of emphasis on the text, rather make it very appealing, otherwise your audience will also sleep like this. Can you see this? Although this is, I'm sorry, I'm exaggerating the point. It doesn't happen like this, but this was just a lighter side of this, right? Now, you know, why our presentations usually fail? Our presentations fail when we are lacking the experience, when the audience lacks that enthusiasm, or we as a presenter lacks that enthusiasm. We don't practice, we don't have good related material, we don't have confident, we are hesitant, we are fumbling, right? And we ourselves are not very sure that what is the objective of our presentation, or what is it that I want to achieve out of this. How am I going to conclude my presentation? If I'm not sure and I'm not clear about all these things, believe me, I will not be able to make effective presentation, right? So we need to be very, very clear about all these points. So now let us talk about the definite factors which can make you a successful presenter, right? I'm sorry. So how can you be an effective presenter? First and the foremost thing is be positive, right? Be positive, not the blood group, be positive. But be positive means have a lot of enthusiasm in yourself. think positively, right? I have seen a lot of presenters and a lot of teachers going to class having this aspect in mind. Students are very bad, they're very indisciplined, they don't want to listen to us. I'm also going and just doing my duty. No. If you're going to your audience with such an impact that they're sitting there just to let you down, you will never be able to make an impact. If you are entering the interview room having this thing in mind that the person who's taking your interview is having one fold objective to let you down, you will never be able to give your best. So be positive. Understand that the audience who's sitting there is a positive group of people, is a group of positive people, those who are there to facilitate you in speaking. Your interviewer is there to get the best out of your skills and abilities, right? Whenever you have to give a presentation, you should know your subject very well. You should have a grip on your topic. It's not possible to master the entire topic, but at least whatever you are going to talk about, you should know about it. We do not, the audience does not expect you to be a, you know, a person with 200% knowledge, but they definitely expect you to have sound knowledge of the topic on which you are giving a presentation. Always rehearse and practice, as I told you. Be over prepared. Now, what do we mean by be over prepared? Let's say I have to give a 1 hour session and I feel that 20 slides are more than enough for, this 1 hour session, but I will always keep few stories, few case studies, few anecdotes ready with me, so that if the time allows, if I have to, change a track during my presentation, I'll be able to deliver that and avoid stress. As you know, the boy was also giving a presentation on this, isn't it? Don't be under stress, because the moment you'll be under stress, your performance will be negatively affected by the same, right? So until, see, stress and performance have, they are inversely related to a certain, it's not inversely, but it's a bell shaped curve. So to a certain extent, there's a positive relationship between stress and performance. As you increase the stress, the performance will also improve. For example, during the exam days, we tend to study 10 to 12 hours or 14 hours, right? But up to a certain extent only. If you are going to prolong that stress for over a period of time, then it will be converted to distress. Till the time stress and performance are positively related, we call it as eustress, and then it becomes distress. We have an entire session on stress management. We'll be talking about this, right? So I hope that the concept of preparing for your presentation is clear. I hope that you have understood how can we prepare ourselves very well for the presentation. We are clear with the 4 P's: plan, prepare, practice, and present. And we have talked about do's and don'ts. Let me just show you another quick video so that you can understand what you are not going to do, right? I have just now, shared a video. Let me show you one more video to understand and quickly recap the session. Then I'll be taking up your questions. Students, that was a quick recap for all of you to understand that what are the do's and don'ts and what are the things we are going to keep in our mind while giving a presentation. So that's it from my side. I hope that the concept of presentation skill, how we are going to prepare it, is clear to everybody, right? So I'll be quickly taking up all the questions, but before that, let me just tell you about all these things that if you want to connect with me, you can write to me on feedback.mentorbuddy@gmail.com. I would appreciate that all those students who would like to connect with me through live class can share a request on this. Anything related with MentorBuddy and Center of Excellence platform, you can write on support@mentorbuddy.com. After all these soft skills classes, you will be receiving an e-certificate for the same. I have seen students, tagging quantum learning on LinkedIn by uploading the certificate. I really appreciate that. I've seen somebody uploaded, it was Sai Vikram, right? Who has uploaded his e-certificate for rapport building in small talk. That was the last session, right? So I appreciate that. And visit our websites, mentorbuddy.com and centerofexcellence.com. And you can register yourself for the upcoming webinars, and you can try out all the resources which are available for you free of cost there. Those of you who are not having an account on COE or centerofexcellence.com, do not worry. You must have been receiving the link to these webinars, right? So all those webinars which are of interest for you, you will be receiving the links on your emails from where you can directly join the webinars, right? Any questions, students? I am open for Q&A now. Let's quickly take up the questions, and I'll also tell you about Center of Excellence in the meanwhile. So this is Center of Excellence. As you can see, centerofexcellence.com, right? Then you need to go to a student login here, right? The moment you'll go to student login, it will ask for your ID and password. Your ID is your email registered with your college, and your password is the registered mobile number, right, which you are having with your college. And from here, you are going to see these are all the benefits of this COE that you are getting. If you'll go to campus recruitment preparation, you will be directed to MentorBuddy website. You can see all this content available: reasoning, quantitative, verbal, which is available for you to practice, right? So that you can understand the different ways in which organizations have their campus recruitment test. And if you'll go to Industry Connect, you will find all these webinars. You can register yourself for the upcoming webinars, and you'll be receiving the details of the webinar on the email, right? After every webinar, you will also be receiving the e-certificate, and I request all of you to upload these e-certificates on LinkedIn and tag us on Quantum Learning, right? So that's it from my side. I hope you all have enjoyed the session. I'm open to the questions now, and all those who want to ask any questions, please do write through the chat box. All right, those students who have any questions can write to me on feedback.mentorbuddy@gmail.com or support@mentorbuddy.com. You can connect with me right through that mail. Aniket, you can connect with me through that email, right? Okay, you have conducted sessions. All right, so Sahana, if you're not receiving the mails regarding the webinars, please write on support@mentorbuddy.com. Thank you so much, Vanshika, for a wonderful feedback. Those students who do not have any questions can leave the class. Thank you so much for joining in. I really enjoyed the session a lot. And we are meeting again this Sunday, 11 a.m. for the next session of presentation skills. Right, those students who are not receiving the links or certificates, please write on support@mentorbuddy.com. All right. So, Mr. Sunil, depending upon the information that you are presenting in any slide, you should keep the font size, and the formal fonts which I make use of are Times New Roman and Calibri. Ideally, font size should be 12 or 14, not more than that and not less than that also. Right? Don't make use of Comic Sans or these kind of fonts that look very kiddish. Okay. Thank you so much, students. Any other questions, or can we end the session? No questions? Thank you so much, Vanshika. Regarding the certificate, please write on support@mentorbuddy.com. Akash, please write on support@mentorbuddy.com for the certificates. Thank you so much, Avar. Thank you. Thank you, Vasa Bhargavi. Pankaj, you can write to me on feedback.mentorbuddy@gmail.com. Lakshman Nayak, you have user ID and password. Log into centerofexcellence.com. Sorry. So if you have not rehearsed a topic about which a person is asking you a question and you do not have an answer to that, you can straight away say that I don't have an answer. I don't have a specific answer to this question as of now, but I'll surely get back to you on this. Or suppose you are already ending your presentation and somebody comes and says, I want you to explain me slide number 2, 3, 4, 5 again. You can always say that let me complete with others and we can speak separately about this. Right? Don't just keep others hanging, because that is not considered as good. Yes, we have the second seminar of presentation skills this Sunday 11 a.m. So you all can join us. Right? So we'll be meeting on Sunday. Thank you so much. Good night and take care. Thank you so much, Danish. No, Aniket, I'm not saying from last 6 months. I said last 6 weeks. Today is the 14th session and we conduct 2 sessions per week. Right? So I said it is not from last 6 months. I'll be giving you the assignments in the next class now. Right? Because most of the students have left. So I'll be giving the assignment in the next class now. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you so much, students. Not a worry, Pankaj. We still have at least 8 more sessions to go. Don't worry. Attend the sessions and you'll get the most out of it, right? After the session, you'll be receiving the e-certificate. Regarding any details about the class, please write on support@mentorbuddy.com. Right? I am not aware of this, Mr. Lakshman, so you can just write or drop in a mail at support@mentorbuddy.com. Thank you so much. Good night, all of you. Take care.